All right, everybody, we got a good video for y'all today. We are going to be tying Chase Smith's Scarpion fly.
Yeah. Oh shit, let's start over.
Okay. Zach, you're on a carp kick lately.
Yeah, you catch one fish and all of a sudden that's all you care about, right?
First, I have to say that Chase is a good friend of ours, and he's a really good dude. And if you don't want to tie these, you should go buy them from him because he's a full-time fly tyer. He did give us permission to use this video, but we just want to make sure that we give him credit, and we're going to put the link in the description below if you guys want to go to him to order some flies.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He ties, so you guys, I guarantee, if you don't know who we're talking about, you've seen his videos and you've seen his flies. He ties the foam spook, and his game changers are world renowned. Blaine Chocolate fishes Chase's game changers. Just saying. Well, at least he has. I don't know if it's a permanent thing, but
Chase's game changers have caught, I mean, for me, redfish in Louisiana, they've caught GT for people. I mean, they're just unbelievable.
well, this is a super easy to fly to tie. As you saw, I put my bead chain eyes on, and if you're unsure how to do that, I've explained it in past videos recently. But you figure 8 wrap your eyes in. Next, I moved my thread all the way back, about halfway down the bend of the hook. I'm going to tie in a zonker strip tail, or a rabbit tail. And the way I do it, I've said in past videos, I cut off a little strip of the leather and I fold it in half. That way if I let go or this slips out of my hand or something, I don't have material going everywhere. Now I'm going to match this just about, maybe a little tiny tad bit longer than the shank of the hook. What I'm going to do, tie it in.
I apologize if you guys can hear my cat. He has been meowing. I think he wants to donate some materials for us to use in the fly. We can cut some hair off and use some cat materials.
The funny thing is he's the same color as this rabbit.
Now we're talking.
So I'm trying to tie this hair in as long as I can, because if you don't, you get a weird bump on your body. A little bit of leather in there. That's okay. We're going to cover it all up anyway. I'm going to wrap back to where I tied in the rabbit. Make sure it's centered on the shank of my hook. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tie in a piece of foam, about an 1/8 inch thick roughly. I'm going to tie it in, I'm going to tie it in on the side of the hook, just because it's easier to see. Cinch it down, a couple wraps, and spin it around.
Now why put foam in a fly that's going to sink?
Because
Zack,
what this does, these are Chase's words, is this ensures that your fly, 1, is going to keel upright. 2, so when it lands, the eyes will be down and the back end of the hook will stand straight up in the air to help get that carp's attention. So now that we got the foam tied in, we're going to wrap it. Overlapping wraps around the body. Ooh, this orange is bright. We're essentially covering the hook shank in this foam.
Are you wrapping really tight?
Yes, really tight. So I've noticed personally...
It's like compressing the foam.
Yeah, you can't even tell there's separate wraps there. I've noticed personally that if you don't wrap this foam tight when you're tying it in, it'll actually float when you cast it, put it in the water. If you run into that problem, what you can do is hold it underwater and squeeze it like a sponge, and it'll soak up water and help it sink. But
you could also tie it with heavier eyes as opposed to bead chain is another idea.
Well, you could. Now, the only problem with that is they're going to hit the water harder and potentially spook fish. But you could do that. And it doesn't hurt to have some with bead chain and some with lead eyes. What I'm doing, I'm creating a nice little platform, a smooth surface with my thread because I'm going to tie in some rubber legs. And I'm also going to palmer a hen hackle. So I need a tight space to tie or to wrap that feather on. I'm going to take some rubber legs. Like I said in videos past, the easiest way to do this is fold it in half. Now we have 2 rubber legs. We're going to have 2 on each side of the fly. So you take it, fold it in half, use the thread to guide it into place. I'm actually going to try to suck it up behind the eyes and then wrap back over it, all the way back to I keep wanting to say the sponge, the foam.
You did say squeeze it like a sponge.
That's true. You know what, I'm not happy with the placement of these. So one thing that Chase does, and he has his own tying video of this fly online on YouTube, and he is better at explaining how to tie it because he created it. But what he does is he'll twist his legs, which gives them it helps them orient better on the fly. We'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Fold our half there, in half over the thread, guide it on, and wrap it back to the foam. So now we've got 2 legs on each side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our soft hackle, hen hackle of choice.
What are some other colors you could tie this in?
Oh, natural colors. So brown, black, olive. Olive's probably the best one. Olive, tan, and you can even, go crazy with it. If you want to tie chartreuse, go for it. You never know in the water you're going to be fishing what color is going to produce the best. But most carp flies I've seen and fished are in natural colors. Alright, so I got my hen hackle tied in. Some of these fibers that are kind of rogue, we can trim out.
Have you got a carp on a Scarpion?
You know what? I haven't, but
I have.
You have?
Yes. We used to sell these in the shop that I worked at. Chase would tie them for us.
Yeah.
And I still have some in the box tied by Chase.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of good things with this fly. It looks good. And recently I thought, I'm buddies with Chase. I love his Game Changers. Why have I not tried his carp flies? So my next outing, I'll worry about that later. My next outing, I'm going to be using the Scarpions and see how they do. All right, we got our feather tied in. I'm going to take a different pair of hackle pliers than I normally have. And we're going to start wrapping this feather around our hook shank. A couple wraps behind the eyes and a couple wraps in front of the eyes. Now it's a little tricky, but once I get it started, hold these legs out of the way. And once I get it started, I'm going to start holding the feather fibers back as best as I can. Cross over the eyes. Try not to trap too many fibers. And what I want to do in front of the eyes is this fuzzy stuff, the marabou looking feathers on this hackle. That's what I want to wrap in front. Get a real buggy look. I'm gonna, as Chase would say, it needs to be dense up front. Once you get it to a desired density, we will capture it. Trim it out. Try not to cut too many of the fibers. Push it all back. Build a thread head. Now at this point, since you got your thread head, you don't necessarily have to, but you can take your scissors and trim out those weird rogue fibers that we lost control of. You can use a lighter, you can leave them. As long as you can get your line through that eye to tie it on and not mess up your knot, they won't hurt anything. Cut my thread. Take these legs, pull them back, and I stretch them just short of the tail, like that. And you can cut them a little shorter if you wanted to. Just want them to be roughly even on both sides. Now, if you want to, this orange foam is pretty bright. Landon, do you have a black marker handy? You do.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make it real buggy, if you use a bright foam like this, you can just put some dots along the side. Dress it up however you see fit for your taste or your water.
Looks good, dude.
There we go. We've got Scarpion.
Perfect.
And also, where did I see a bodkin? You can check, make sure you didn't trap any fibers. Yeah. Scarpion, pretty cool. When you put this down now with this hackle here, it'll help stand it up in the water, like so. And in the water, when it sinks, this foam is going to help prop it up as well. So you won't have any issues. It stands up perfectly. Get the fish's attention.
Looks great,
Cool
dude.
fly, Chase. Thanks.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching another fly tying video with us. As always, we'll have the materials linked in the description below, and we'll catch you all in the next video.